fucked me up.
All right.
Oh man, George.
You should definitely leave that.
No, you should definitely not.
Okay, ready? Uno, dos, tres.
Hola, hijos de su madre. Welcome to another episode of No Manches. I'm Sandra.
Good.
I'm Sandra. This is.
I'm Jorge.
And I'm Frank.
And this is No Manches, right?
Yeah, I know, you're good.
The motherfucking, why are you looking at me like I'm crazy?
Oh, I'm just weird.
Because we were actually expecting you to mix up and be like, welcome to another episode of All I Know Is My Name, or
These bitches don't believe
El
in me.
Chanclazo. I was like, what was the other one?
I was gonna go because y'all saw my hand, right? I was like, oh, then I was like, nah, bring it back.
Well, in this episode, we're going to talk about Latino/Mexican stereotypes.
Isn't it Hispanic?
Hispanic stereotypes. How about that?
Thank you.
We're including the whole
Thank you.
Latin
We're including
American,
everything.
South America, all these people.
Latin America includes all of that.
Not South America.
Okay,
Yes,
doesn't.
it does.
doesn't
I
America-
just looked it up.
No. Okay.
I
well,
just
okay.
looked it up.
We'll discuss this in a second.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna tackle some of the stereotypes that we see that are prevalent among people who talk about Hispanics, right? So
That's a face of Monica.
let's see. What'd you say?
Fran just made a face only a mama can love.
Ready? So the first one is Latinas are spicy, curvy sex pots, and
Pots?
all sex pots.
Like pots, like the ones you cooking?
I mean, I guess they just like sex. That's what they mean.
Pots?
Shut
That's
up.
what it is. And all Latinos are Latin lovers.
Let me tell you. Girls, Latinas don't all got curves, okay? We don't all look like Coke bottles.
Coke bottle.
Yeah, you know how like the Coke
Did you
bottle.
guys ever see that commercial where Coke actually went that far? So like it was like a pretty hot girl, and the guys held up like this like skinny Coke bottle like next to her, the glass one. And then
like, her figure.
this older woman comes out of the building and they hold up the 2-liter.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
for real.
That is so much shade.
That's where my reference came from, but I don't
So it'd be
know.
looking like a can.
Wait, what did you
Hold me back, Fern! I'm gonna take him down! He just called me a can! So no, all
Does that mean I'm a
Latinos...
2-liter?
I was gonna say...
What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
Nothing!
Say it! Say it!
Nobody
Someone hold me back!
No, but not all Latinas are curvy, sexy. No, we can be sexy, but we ain't all got curves in the right places. We got curves in some of the other areas too.
It's all those tacos. I'm telling you.
Oh my god. That's
Or
because-
las tortas.
Everything is fried in like Mexican like cuisine.
Hispanic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
churros,
Well,
quesadillas.
Not all Hispanics like cook like
Like Mexicans, yeah.
Mexicans fry everything. Some other Hispanics.
We have
eat
a
lot of
whole
vegetables,
category called fritangas, which literally means like fried food. Like,
yeah, like fried
cuisine.
street food.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. Like your tacos,
it sounds gross, but it's so
your
good.
chiles. No wait, what chiles rellenos be? No, tortas,
Chiles
quesadillas.
Technically,
Chiles
they
rellenos
are
are fried.
Oh,
because
man.
you have to put them in the oil to
They're
make
so
the
good.
egg stick.
Those are my girl's favorite food.
Chile
Those are
rellenos.
your favorite food. Don't
And then
just
her
go blame
second
the
one is
person.
tortas.
I hate chile rellenos because it always tastes so greasy to me.
George, I'll hold you back, bro.
They taste greasy to me.
I don't think you've ever had my mom's chile rellenos.
No, you haven't.
They don't taste greasy like that, like for
had
real.
like El Nepal's chiles
I've
rellenos.
never-
Even Sabrina has sent back a chile relleno at El Nopal. She's like, as for chile relleno, what is that?
They give her like ground beef with like a jalapeno inside of it.
Ew.
Yeah.
She was disappointed.
They thought they were gonna lie. They're like, oh, she's a white girl. She don't know what it looked like.
But not all Latinos are curvy like that.
But speaking of curves, we went to that Mexican restaurant this weekend. Remember the I think she was like the is it a bus lady?
Bus girl?
Okay.
The one that cleans the tables and stuff?
Oh my god. So I told Sandy.
Can I say what I said? I was like, look at her tiny little waist.
Yes, literally
Oh my
her
God.
waist. Okay, so literally she literally was like this, like, and I was like, and I think me and Tanya were like, I don't think that's real. I said I think she's using a waist trainer.
Yeah, I asked her. I was like, she can't have a waist that little. Like it just like Natalie, our chunkies, was bigger than that lady.
Okay, I don't
Which
think
brings us to a point about Latina being sexy.
They're like, she was like this big.
If you see a Latina that kind of looks like that, like this, odds are she has a girdle.
Or she's waist training, which we're not.
Or both.
Which we're not saying, don't do it, whatever. It's your body, you do what you want. But inform yourself and do it, like, safely. Because there are really dangerous ways to do it. And you can really fuck up your organs and fuck up your body to the point where there's no return, So, just make sure that if you are doing it, you inform yourself. Like, go to a doctor, be like, hey, I want to waist train. And they'll guide you. They'll probably be like, don't do it. But if you're going to do it, do it right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just saying, like, if you're going to go that route, make sure you're doing it correctly. I prefer, well, I don't really prefer, but I got the upper body strength to, like, squeeze into one of those things. Like, I'm going to post a video of a girl trying to get into one of those things. Like, these girls sweat.
We said we're going to post videos all the time. We don't post nothing.
Okay, well, this for real, though. I might actually attempt to get into one of these things. But, like, no
Oh my god, can you imagine trying to put Sandy into a girdle?
Y'all are mean as fuck!
You're the one who just said it.
I know, but y'all ain't gotta concur with me?
Well, it would be a funny video.
They're gonna pass out before I pass out, or I might pass out.
We could all try one.
We all pass out.
We could definitely all try it. But, no lie, it's hard.
They have those men ones that, like...
They do.
That go, like, all over.
But, that brings us to the other topic where all Latin men are Latin lovers. Like, I'm sorry, but some of them men be disappointing.
Latin men are Latin lovers.
Like, they're romantic.
Oh.
They're good in other aspects,
Like, they don't know I have the gift.
Okay. What, in your eyes, what is a Latin lover?
See, that's not what I know. I thought it was just being, like, romantic and, like, swooing the ladies. I thought that's what a Latin lover was. Because of that movie, Latin Lover, the one with Eugenio Derbez.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
I never saw the movie, though.
You've never seen the movie?
You need to see it.
Yeah, it's really good. But that's what I thought it was. Just, like, someone who woos the ladies, swoons them.
Well, right, but it comes with, like really nice bodies, being romantic.
Okay, the really nice bodies, what was it? Like, for a while there, like, I looked at the statistics back a couple of years ago, and, like, Hispanics or, like, Mexicans were, like, the fattest people in the world. So there is no way we are Latin lovers with, like, the majority of our population, like, being overweight,
Oh my god, did you guys see the, I forgot the name of the show, but it was on TLC, the Learning Channel. The Hispanic, I think it was like my 500-pound life or something.
Yeah. There's one that's like my 500-pound fiance.
Oh, it wasn't that. I think it was my 100-pound
Okay,
life.
well, I know what you're saying.
But the guy passed away.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure.
Was it the one that had surgery?
It was when he was in Mexico, that's all I remember.
Oh, yeah, because he didn't want to follow the dietary to get
so
to
he
the
did
weight.
Pass away?
Yeah, to get to the weight that needed to be.
And then that again brings us back to it's all that fried food.
Look, sometimes I be thinking, like, this is going to be my life. I don't get myself together, okay? I'm going to be that.
We would never let you get that far.
Me too.
Can you imagine, like, and I've seen some of those episodes where, like, people can't even clean themselves. I'm like, oh my goodness, could you imagine? I could not.
No.
But I'm sorry, getting off topic.
No, you're good. That's part of it. Like, how are we going to be Latin lovers if we're looking like
but
a torta?
It also comes down to the whole, like, they're supposed to be, or all Latino men are romantic and, like, this and that. Girls, let me tell you, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. These men don't open the door like they say they do.
I open my girl's door all the time. They don't show up to your
house with flowers.
I do that all the time.
What have you? Oh, I don't know, actually. Maybe you just show up.
I open her door, the car door, all the time. And then I also take her treats. Like, I know she loves chocolate.
Treats? She's a fucking dog.
I know.
Okay. Girls.
He's talking about Lucy, the golden retriever.
Okay. I take her, like, she loves chocolates, so I take her chocolates. And then I always, like, sometimes I'll surprise her on her days off. And I'll send her I'll send her a little something. I'm like, why don't you go get your little mani patty or done?
Okay, well, that's, like, a very rare occasion. And he had a really good like somebody to look up to. My dad's very much like that with my mom, but not all Latin men are like that. Like, I'm sorry, but it's probably like 1 in 500 that you might.
Which brings us to the other one where it's most Latin or Hispanic men or machistas or
machos. Macho man.
Which, in my experience, that is a fact because
really? How?
I mean most of the people like in my family, like the men are like very much like don't like doing dishes, don't like doing chores, like they, you know, if it's deemed like a woman's ordeal, they won't like won't touch it. Yeah.
Oh man, no. Not in our household. Like my dad is very much like he'll help with the dishes. If my mom can't cook for whatever reason, like he'll step in and cook. If she can't clean or she wasn't able to clean, like he'll step in and clean. He'll do his laundry if he needs it.
But I think not only in like Hispanic culture, but also in like a lot of cultures, like
a lot of like Islamic cultures and things like that, like women are viewed as property still to this day. Like they're viewed as like property and not as humans, you know?
Well, that's the thing, religion, because they're not even able like to drive or like, I mean, they have to wear like, you know, face cover. But I was gonna say, like, there's a lot of like things like posts that I see where it says like women are expected to like work, you know, full time, and then they're expected to come home, do laundry, do like chores, help with the kids, and like men, like they're just like working, and that's enough for them.
Which I think it stems from like I guess further back, you know, like the guy was the only one that was working, and so women took up the role, like in Hispanic culture at least, you know, like the guy would go out to the ranch and work or do whatever, and then the woman would stay home, and I guess that's how they separated the roles. But like now, like everyone's working, so what's the point of having roles set like that?
Yeah, shoot. But yeah, I didn't grow up in a home or in a family that was like that at all. Like my granddad's, there's certain things like they would make the guys cut the yard.
Oh, I hated cutting the yard. It was hot outside. There's bugs.
I like it. Like once you put your headphones in, it's just kind of like relaxing.
No, I don't relax.
Well, see, for us, like my granddad was always very much like, hey, the guys cut the yard while y'all get whatever y'all were doing ready. And that was the only thing that he was very much like that. In other aspects, he's like, if they can do it, you can do it.
I hated doing the yard.
I'm glad I wasn't that.
I also think like our generation doesn't do that anymore for the most part. I mean, you still have your bad apples that are like the guys think they're all like hot shit, but they're really not.
Well, I dated a guy that was like that.
Yeah, so you did.
Yeah, it was a very abusive relationship, but he was like, I don't want you to dress this way. I want you to dress like this. I don't want you to talk to your family. I don't want you to do this. What else?
That just sounds like an asshole.
I mean, yeah,
he was an asshole.
You have those in every culture too.
He was an asshole, but he was very like machista in a lot of what he.
There's still a lot of men out there like that, but I think it's like the generation before us too. Like our generation, you see it a lot less, or at least it's like more socially frowned upon if like they do it in public. So that's why you see it less, right?
Right. Like I feel like this generation, guys are more like.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Are more what?
They're more whipped.
Whipped. Well, no, I just think
they're more like open to doing other things.
I think it was one of the good things about social media that it kind of was like, you can't really do that anymore. People are starting to see how like other people treat each other. So.
This is another topic for another day, but like how the older generations are like, will like complain about the newer generations because they're like too sensitive or, you know, like cry about everything, but it's like, no, we're not too sensitive or crying about everything. It's just that we won't tolerate the same things that you tolerate.
That reminded me of like the World War III thing. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but it reminded me of the TikTok that was going on where it was like, you know, they're like, you ain't gonna make it out there. Like the grandma's telling this kid, like, you ain't gonna make it out there. You're too soft, this and that. Like, you gotta leave. Like, if you stay here, you're not gonna get a woman because you're too soft. And it was because he was our age and she was like an older lady, and to her, like a real man, you know, was like macho and this and that. And it just reminded me of that. I have to find the TikTok. It's funny.
I'm so confused.
I mean,
I didn't understand the correlation between World War III to the TikTok.
Sandy,
I'm so confused.
Sandy.
Because it was referred to the word. Okay, never mind.
I was thinking how like we're so insensitive as far as like the the end of the world that we just like joke about it because that's literally like that's what I thought you were going, but definitely left.
We really did joke about the world ending, huh?
I mean,
We were like, oh well.
I mean, if it's gonna come, why like
Every guy was like, well, I'm getting drafted. Here we come.
Here we go. You gonna go to war?
When all you guys know you are too heavy and unathletic and would never pass a physical.
Yeah, I wouldn't pass.
So I mean, what you worrying about?
I can even do a push-up. I don't think I can even run for a minute.
They're not giving you a gun.
No, I cannot do a push-up.
You really can't do a
No, I cannot do a push-up.
We're gonna have to record this.
I don't even know how to do a pull-up. Well, I may be able to do like one pull-up. Maybe.
An assisted pull?
No, with the initial jump and the momentum.
Yeah. But that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Let's see what the other one is. Let's see. Hispanics / Latinos / Mexicans, whatever, have huge families.
That's
not fucking true. Well, at least for us.
That is true for us too. I literally have like a million cousins.
Yeah.
Well, my mom, I'm a family. I'm out of like 6, right? That's how many siblings I have. My mom's out of 8. So you can imagine and all of them for the most part are like married now and have like a kid. So I have like a million cousins.
How many sisters and brothers does mom have? Like 12?
Well, she has a lot.
I want to say she's got like 12. And my mom's right in the middle ish.
Yeah.
So it's like cheaper by the dozen right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
And they all have pretty decently sized families, like 4 or 5 kids.
Well, to
each.
be fair, my grandparents never had a TV in their room, so what else?
George!
Oh my god. They're gonna be like, how dare you?
I'm just kidding.
But I mean, true.
I mean,
I'm fucking done with these two.
no, but I think it was like, have you guys ever seen that movie Idiocracy?
No.
So it's about how like the future, everyone's like super dumb, right? Because like all the dumb people kept like reproducing, right? And I mean it's true. Like it's statistically proven that like the less educated you are, like the more kids you have. So and it was like the smart people kept putting it off, like we'll have kids once I graduate. We'll have kids once I get my career going. We'll have kids once I get this, right? And like later on they were like unable to reproduce as well, right? So it shows that like everybody just got dumber because the dumb people kept reproducing, right? Which is I think part of like the Hispanic like back in the day too. Like they didn't go to school. Like in Mexico, like all my uncles and like my grandparents like what is it like maybe middle school at most?
Yeah, because once you get into high school, like it's crazy expensive to study down there. Like
it's not like here where you like
education is free until you get to until after high school. Like there, you're pretty much paying through every school,
right.
And then it's not just like paying your tuition. Like you're constantly
paying
getting
for books,
supplies. And sometimes I've heard, I don't know if this is true or how much of it is true, but they like ask you for books that you're never gonna open.
I mean, that happens in college here.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm just saying, like
that happens in regular grade school. Like they hand you like a textbook for social studies, and sometimes the teacher never even has you open it.
That is true because I had to lug around a bunch of those books.
Or like whenever they don't have anything for you to do, they'll give you busy work, and they're like, "Oh, go find this vocab," and you're over here just doing vocab. You're doing vocab for like 40 minutes.
But it is really expensive, so most people do only study like. When you're middle to lower class, like they do only study up until middle school because that's what they can afford. And
then they also have like limits to like how many kids can apply at a certain school year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like where my mom is, like they literally have to go line up and sign up their kids, hoping that they'll get like
a spot.
Well, I mean that's kind of here too. Like the pre-Ks, that's a lot. The pre-K that we have are. The youngest, like it's lottery system.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
What pre-K do you go to? Do they go to?
It's the Kids and Company. It's like the city one.
Oh.
But it's still based on like lottery. Well, they say it's based on lottery, but I think it's like as long as you have all your documents, like you'll get a spot. Otherwise, like you won't.
Right. Well.
And that's in Mexico where it's still like it's not that bad compared to some of the other like Latin American countries and like
That's true.
economy wise. There's a lot that are like borderline bankrupt where like money's worth nothing, so everything is just even twice or 3 times as expensive as in Mexico. It's like I can't imagine what they're going through with the education system down there. So I mean, when you got nothing else to do, what are you gonna do besides make more kids?
Okay.
Or I mean, the goal's not make more kids, but you know, it's a result of what you're doing. You know,
True, because
your recreational activities are leading.
Because I guess there too, like I mean, I'm sure since they haven't gone through a lot of. Well, not that we go through education.
But I was also told.
But
But you're like health. What is it? Health. What is that class?
health class?
Health class?
I think it's health class.
Sex ed class?
You went to school, Sandy?
Motherfucker!
I know it's a question.
Hold me back, Fran. Boom! You didn't hold me back fast enough.
Well, he was like, hold me back, and I was like, okay.
I could have busted him up.
Oh Lord.
I kind of did. I'm sorry.
Oh, I got itchy.
But here, you know, you do go through a sex ed class that, you know, they're like,
It's very
hey,
basic.
it is very basic. I feel like it could
They're
be.
like, this is what happens. And this is what comes out.
I feel like it could be a little more informative. Anyways, but in Mexico,
We'll hit on the educational system later on.
Yeah. But in Mexico, like they do not offer those classes. They do not offer a safe like a sex ed class.
It's like everything, right? Like if you're in the nicer areas, their educational system is better because they're paying teachers. They have better.
Well, this is just from like what I've talked to, like from our cousins that went to school down there and stuff. Like they never had a sex ed class, and a lot of them were 15 and they were married and had already had a kid.
Well, the thing too, in like Hispanic cultures, it's kind of taboo to speak about like intimacy.
Oh yes,
It is. Oh my goodness. Well, I feel like our parents are very open to topics, but we don't. It's not like a daily conversation.
I think that can happen though, like across cultures.
Yeah.
But I think especially in the Hispanic culture, it is very, very, very taboo to like bring that up. Mm-hmm. Because like even, let me just bring myself for example. Like when I was going through puberty, like I didn't know what to expect at all. Like nothing.
You didn't have the talk?
No. Well,
Fred is like, I'm getting weird real fast.
Yes. Like literally. Okay, this is gonna be like this is gonna be TMI for the viewers, but so you know when like you go to that phase where like hair starts sprouting places where like
everybody knows what puberty is.
Well, I didn't know about it because no one like sat down with me, and mind you, I like didn't live with my dad, so I never had like a talk with him about it, right? And my mom, like bless her heart, like she doesn't know what happens because you know she's only experienced what she goes through, so she really can't talk me through what I'm going through. So like literally, I remember this like clearly. I was like in the restroom, right? I just got out of the shower, and I noticed like something, and I'm like freaked out. I'm like why is this here? Like mind blown. Like
he's like, did it fall off of this?
Well, that's what I thought originally. So I was like trying to get it out, but it was like attached, and I was like, why is this attached? Like I don't understand. So I literally yelled for my mom because I'm in the restroom. I'm like, Mom, there's something going on. I don't know what it is. And she's like, I meant to talk to you about this sometime. Like this is normal. It's supposed to happen.
Did my mom talk to you?
I have the talk.
My dad, I think my mom said my dad, and he was like, you got any questions? I was like, no, I'm good. He was like, oh.
Well, and see, for me though, like, especially for me, my family has always been kind of like really, really religious. So they've always sheltered me on everything. Like everything. So like, when I was like in middle school or high school, like most of the normal stuff, well, I say normal stuff, like most of the stuff that other kids knew, I didn't know about. So it was like news to me. Like they would talk about like, sex and things like that, and I was just like, yeah, of course, like I know about that too, but I really didn't. Like I was
like, what is this?
Yeah, I was like so lost. Like just to give you guys an example, like one time in science class in like 8th grade, I was reading a passage to this, like the book, and I was meant to say organism, right? Well, I didn't say organism. I said orgasm, and I'm pretty sure it was 8th grade middle school. I didn't know what an orgasm was. So like I said it, right? And then like everyone in the class was like laughing, and I was just like, why are you guys laughing? Like They're like,
We gotta look.
this is so dumb. Like, why are you guys laughing?
5 minutes.
So yeah, I mean, for me, like puberty for me, honey, was tough because I didn't know what was going on. I was just going through some changes, and I was like, what is going on? Like, so yeah, it was very, very.
It is, but it is very taboo,
tough.
and it's very like, no, you can't talk about that kind of stuff.
So a lot of
Like-
them are like a lot of Hispanics aren't educated, so they don't. Like the rapping, you know, they don't do that. They don't get like contraceptives.
Plan Bs.
Yeah, Plan Bs.
Birth control for women in a lot of Hispanic cultures is like frowned upon. It's seen as
Even-
a negative thing.
Yeah, because they
Despite,
feel they feel like if you go ahead and do that means like you got free game, like you're gonna be a hoe.
Mhm.
Right, or that it's going to cause infertility and all of this other stuff. Like, there's a lot of speculation behind birth control and protection in the Hispanic community.
And that goes to one of the things that.
And I don't think it's just Hispanic community, but it's the one we're referring to because we can kind of
We can
relate
talk
to
about
it. Right.
But it's like about how a lot of Hispanics or Latinos are uneducated. You know, I mean, we kind of touched some of it already, but you know, some of the, you know.
You're right. Yeah.
It's all incorporated. It's
And
full
it's-
circle.
Yeah, and it's because I guess culturally, like I guess they don't want to talk about it, so they won't learn about it,
Mhm.
and then pass it on to like the offspring, which is why they have a million babies.
Really?
And on the million babies, that's where we're going to end this episode, guys. Thank you for checking us out again. My name is Sandra. I'm your host.
I'm Jorge.
And I'm Fran.
And our names in Spanish are Sandra.
Fran.
In Spanish,
Fran.
Francisco. Not Fernando. Francisco.
Yeah, this hoe.
That's
Or, like,
another episode.
no.
Bye, y'all. Have a good one.
Tune in for part 2 of Latino stereotypes.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Hoe, you hit me in my teeth.